Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, will inaugurate the Tata Aircraft Complex in Vadodara, Gujarat today, marking India's first private sector military aircraft final assembly line through the Tata Advanced Systems. The complex will manufacture 40 C-295 military aircraft with an additional 16 directly supplied by Airbus, and will support the full life cycle of the aircraft from assembly and testing to delivery and maintenance. During his visit, Prime Minister Modi will also inaugurate and launch development projects worth rupees 4,900 crore. The latest developments on Prime Minister Modi's visit to Gujarat later today is that he and the Prime Minister of Spain, that's Pedro Sanchez, are all set to inaugurate the Tata Aircraft Complex in Vadodara, Gujarat today, which will mark the first private sector military aircraft final assembly through the Tata Advanced Systems. Viewers, at this point, I'd like to bring in my colleague Priyanka, who's joining us live from Vadodara. Priyanka, help us understand, now that we understand that Prime Minister Modi and Pedro Sanchez are all set to inaugurate the Tata Aircraft Complex in Vadodara later today. What is really the significance of this complex?
Well, that's right. We have seen that today itself that the Prime Minister, both the Prime Ministers, the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi along with Spain counterpart, in fact, is going to be inaugurating the final assembly line of the C-295 aircrafts. And this, of course, is a assembly line that has been in fact, the idea of this and the foundation laying stone had been done for this by the Prime Minister in October 2022. Now we will see that the first fleet, in fact, of these aircrafts, the aircraft that are also replacing the Avro fleet in the IAF are going to be launched. And we are going to be looking at both the Prime Minister also hold bilateral meetings inside of the Lakshmi Vilas Palace here in Vadodara. Post that, we are expecting that the Indian Prime Minister will also carry on with his itinerary of moving towards Amreli and inaugurating, as you pointed out, at least 4,000 crore worth of projects as well. Apart from that, we are looking at the Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez, in fact, who will be going on towards Mumbai and will be having several meetings with the industry top leaders, and will also be visiting several film studios as well. So a great push in the right direction for the relations between India and Spain, where we are looking at the last meeting that had taken place at several summits across the world. Both the Prime Ministers have met. But for the first time in the last 18 years that a Spanish Prime Minister is arriving in India, has in fact arrived in India, and starting from Vadodara and inaugurating the final assembly line for the C-295 aircrafts is going to be extremely significant. Push in the direction of Make in India when it comes to defense sector as well. That is something that has been done by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi time and time again. And apart from Tata, of course, there are several other MSME as well that have contributed to this final assembly line. So something that has been a philosophy which has been preached by the Indian Prime Minister about the Make in India in the defense sector as well. A project that was very close to his heart, and the foundation laying for which had been done in October 2022 by he himself, is going to be inaugurated today. And as we have seen that out of the 56, the first 14 of the aircrafts of the C-295, in fact, are going to be manufactured out of Spain, and now the rest of 41s are going to be in fact manufactured here, and this is the final assembly line for the same. And the visit of the entire facility will also be taken by both the Prime Ministers as and when they arrive here at around 9 a.m. today.
Thank you, Priyanka, for those details coming in. Definitely a big push for the Make in India initiative, especially for the defense sector, as you mentioned as well. And again, on the milestone, because the Spanish Prime Minister coming into India for the first time in about 18 years. Definitely a landmark for both the countries.